Hello, Ned here. So for the past several years, we've been running either Fate campaigns or long-form campaigns here on Improv Tabletop, and I've decided that I don't want to have to choose between the two of them anymore, so I've decided that I want to do both. And for the next little bit here, at least, we're going to try out a bit of a new format. We're going to go back to releasing every single week instead of every other week, but then we'll just be switching off between the two. So this week, you're getting the first episode of Jasmine Island, our next Avatar Legends long-form campaign, and then the next week, you're going to get the first episode of Olympian Treasure, our next Fate campaign, and then we're going to swap off between those two and try it out and see how it goes. I've got lots of ideas for stories I want to tell here on ImpTab, and this is a way to try and get some more of those stories out there into the world for you. So let's see how it goes. Thanks everybody for continuing to be here and to support us. Much love and stuff. Now on with the show. What's shaking, everybody? You're listening to ImpTab Avatar Jasmine Island, the Avatar Legends actual play where we're making up less stuff on the spot than we've ever done before. I'm Ned Wilcock, your host and GM, and today I'm joined by...
Christian Randall, here to Ava your tar.
Connor Wood, Flamey-O, hot boys.
Sammy Ryan, I wish I had thought to bring tea to this session.
Oh, there's going to be so much tea happening in this session, in our brains, if not in our actual lives.
Brain tea.
I am so happy to have the three of you on the mic with me, not doing anything related to Sonic. It feels good.
It feels really good. Super liberating.
Yeah, but listener, if you just demand more Sonic content, I have started writing a Sonic Choose Your Adventure story over on our Patreon, so you can go check that out.
It's on the way.
But yeah, we are going to be playing through the adventure that has been published in Uncle Iroh's Adventure Guide. Woo! But Ned, I hear you asking, this is Improv Tabletop. Why are you running a published adventure? Because I want to. I'm an adult and you can't stop me. That is the answer.
Tell him.
But even then, one of the things that I do enjoy about the way Magpie Games writes their adventures for Avatar Legends, there's always a little section toward the beginning of each adventure that's titled No Path to the End, ? And essentially says, hey, GM, this is a game where the actions your players take are going to alter the state of the world they're in. We're not necessarily expecting it to go in any particular way. So they basically say, we're going to give you a big box of people and places and scenarios, and then it's up to you as the GM to put your players into that toy box and see how they put all of those little Lego pieces together into your own narrative. So if there is a system that we are going to take a pre-written adventure and then add improv to it, this is actually a pretty decent one for it. So a little bit of table setting for what this adventure is like. Uncle Iroh's Adventure Guide, all of its adventures take place on Jasmine Island, which is an island out in the middle of the seas, unincorporated, unaffiliated with any of the given nations of the Avatarverse. And it is most famous for the golden jasmine, which grows only on this island. People have tried to take it to other places throughout the Four Kingdoms, and it just won't grow there. So this place is very well known for its golden jasmine tea. People come from all across the world to try it out. It is canonically one of Uncle Iroh's favorite places to relax and take a little vacation. But the thing that to me is especially intriguing about this campaign, aside from just the tea, is the fact that it is a generational campaign. If any of you listeners out there have ever played a legacy board game, Pandemic Legacy, Betrayal Legacy, etc., you will know that whenever you complete one round of the game, you then alter the state of that game so it is customized to your particular characters. And this campaign actually sets up in a pretty similar way, where we're going to go through each of the 5 different eras and do kind of a mini adventure. This is going to be almost an anthology campaign, as we're going to see the progression of Jasmine Island through the eras of Avatar Kyoshi, Avatar Roku, the 100-Year War, Avatar Aang, and then Avatar Korra. And at the end of each of these mini adventures, we're going to give our players the opportunity to adjust the face of the island a little bit so that their character's legacy is going to live on through the rest of the campaign. And that also means each of our players are going to play 5 different characters over the course of this campaign. We're going to begin this at the beginning, at the start of our timeline in the era of Avatar Kyoshi. During a time when the pirate queen Tagaka, her rule over the Fifth Nation has been squashed by Avatar Kyoshi, who sent her off to the prisons in Ba Sing Se, an era in which there was a lot of questioning of who even was the Avatar for quite a while. An era in which there are gangs running all amok in Ba Sing Se, but obviously you listeners don't care a single thing about that. If you were, then you'd be listening to a different campaign that we've already released. But we're going to start here on Jasmine Island during the era of Avatar Kyoshi, and we are going to begin just before the break of dawn in a small cove on Jasmine Island, because we are about to engage in a tea ceremony to induct our 3 heroes into the Protectors of Jasmine Island. Now, the Protectors is one of the few organizations on the island. You've got the tea families who run the growth and the production of the tea. You've got the people who run the docks. You've got the people who grow the produce and whatnot. But then the Protectors, they're kind of, if I'm being honest, sort of a nominal organization where the structure has been pretty loose over the years. It's kind of like, I mean, yeah, we should have some people who can take care of this island in case we get attacked by anybody, but who would attack us? Everybody loves our tea, etc., etc. But you all have found yourselves in this tea ceremony in the rocky cove just east of the main bay of Jasmine Island, the morning tide beating up against the slippery rocks, softly spraying you with salt water. And inside this cove is a small temple in honor of the golden deer fox, the spirit which, when your ancestors first arrived on Jasmine Island, decided to welcome them in with open hooves, I suppose, because it's the deer fox, maybe open paws, one of those two, who knows. And so the shrines around this island are often dedicated to the golden deer fox, this particular statue made of cherry wood lacquered to resist the water. And as you are seated on your cushions waiting for this ceremony to begin, you can see the 2 who are going to be leading the ceremony. You've got Siaruk, who is an elder talekeeper of Jasmine Island, and she is going to lead the ceremony to help induct you into the Protectors, and then also Chida, who is the leader of the Protectors. The 2 of them are chatting back and forth, kind of like, well, where's Mirlan? He's supposed to be here to help with the ceremony, but eventually Chida's like, no, we gotta get this started. We can't wait for Mirlan. Let's get this going. It has to be done before dawn. That is the tradition. And so, Siaruk prepares to begin the ceremony itself. The cushions are slightly damp beneath you here in this spray-suffused cove, but you can smell the delicate scent of the freshly brewed golden jasmine tea rising up through the air, and Siaruk begins to pass the earthenware cups of tea around, inviting you to take your first sips just as the rising sun turns the ocean spray into rainbows. And as we pass out these cups to our 3 heroes, we're going to figure out who they are. And let's do our normal alphabetical sort of thing. Christian, as Siaruk passes a cup to you, what kind of character do we see taking this cup in hand?
In the spirit of improv tabletop, I do not know. Let me roll a die.
Yes, so we're going to be largely using the pre-generated characters that have been provided in the rulebook, because we're going to be playing a lot of characters. That's a lot of churn that we're getting through. And I've given each of my players the option to choose one of the characters beforehand if they want, or like Christian's going to do, to roll to see which one he gets. And we're also going to allow them to adjust and alter these characters in any way that they wish. We have a baseline of mechanics that we can follow and maybe a bit of story behind that, but any and all of it can be disregarded based on the desires of our players. So, Christian, you're going to roll to see which of the pre-gens you're going to get to play.
I will either be an idealist, a bold, or a prodigy.
All right.
I will be Yarru, the prodigy.
Awesome.
And because I'm just going pre-gen, I will just tell you about her because I'm learning it as you are. I am a waterbender.
All right.
Ooh, I'm a high-ranking warrior and wife. My parents have quite the legacy, and I'm trying to live up to that. I'm very driven. My immediate response to any problem is force. I'm pretty stubborn. If something doesn't work the first time, I will just try harder the second time. And I just believe that any failure is just me not being good enough. And so I will always try to be good. I am, as far as look, I have long black hair. It's kept in a very tight braid. I am married, so I don't have the loops. I'm a full woman in the water tribe tradition. You also see a sword at my hip made of ice.
Very nice. So this is your particular specialty within your waterbending fighting style.
Cool.
Now that we have sort of a mental image of Yarru, the book has given us some prompts, some little flashbacks that are going to help us delve even deeper into the mind and the history of Yarru, so we can start to get to know her even better. So the first thing to answer about Yarru is whether she is a local or an arrival. Was she raised here on Jasmine Island, or did she move here from somewhere else?
A local, mainly because the legacy of my parents is something that I still live in the shadow of. So if I, wasn't local, that wouldn't be as important. But people here do know my parents, and I need to live up to that.
So a lot of weight that has been put upon Yarru's shoulders. Now we're going to have two of these prompts that you're going to answer. One of them we're going to save until we've met our other two characters, because it's about the bonds that you already have between each other. But first, you get to answer one of these. Which of the major families, Qi family, the Jin family, or the Fu family, the tea-producing families, are you a direct member of or otherwise affiliated with? Describe one islander who is your childhood friend. Describe your favorite spot on the island and who else you meet there. Or you have already sworn the oath of protection but have chosen to join the ceremony again. So which of those would you like to go with?
I think probably, again, with my family being important, I'm trying to live up to them, probably one of the T families. I'm a daughter of them.
All right. So a little more detail on these families. Let me pull it up real quick.
You said there's 3 T families?
Yep, we have the Jin family, which is currently led in this era by Jin Sheka, who is an inflexible elder and matriarch of the tea growing family. We also have Chi Kiala, the sensitive and perfectionist golden jasmine grower. And we have Fu Mela, the youngest council member and an inexperienced representative of the tea-making Fu family. So we've got the Jin family grows the tea, the Qi family grows the golden jasmine, the Fu family actually processes the tea to prepare it for drinking.
Probably the Qi family then. Just with the perfection thing, seems like that would probably affect me pretty much all the time.
Yep, so you are the daughter of Chi Kiala, the leader of the golden jasmine growing family. Now, the other thing it wants us to ask here is to describe 2 aspects of this relationship, one wholesome and one fraught.
Ooh. I'll start with the fraught because that feels easier. I think that my mother is a perfectionist and that expectation falls on me. I don't know, this will be up to however you want to play it. Yarru sees the pressure as being very genuine. Her mother puts this pressure on herself, and by proxy, me, her daughter. Whether or not that's intentional, or whether or not that's actually true, that is how Yarru sees it. There's a lot of pressure and expectation and all of that coming directly from, another perfectionist.
A vicious family cycle for sure.
Generational trauma, baby. But you know what? We're going to say that Dad's a goof, where my mother is the single drop falling from the perfectly formed stalactite, crafting these beautiful formations. My father is a babbling brook in an open field, just winding whichever way he pleases, and he's very kind and warm, and I love him very much, but also there are times when I am frustrated with his imprecise actions. But he is a good counter to my mother and to me.
Now, the thing that I'm going to ask that isn't in the book, your decision to join the Protectors, would you say that this is an act to appease your mother, who wants you to do something big with your life, or is it an act of rebellion against her because she would much rather you just take over the family business?
I think it is a point, I think it's a point we disagree on. I think that I will be doing both. I will be a protector and taking over the business, and I can do everything. So she doesn't need to worry about me focusing on one thing, because why focus when you can just be perfect at everything all the time and never make a mistake?
Yeah. Okay. Gonna write down some notes here.
I will say I have my when I rolled with a random d6 that was just a different color that I had from my dice bag. But once I became a waterbender, I pulled out my waterbending dice from the Avatar Legends Kickstarter.
Awesome.
Yeah, they are nice dice.
They are very nice.
I know that we're often shilling dice, and these aren't made by Fanroll Dice, but if you want some nice official Avatar dice, I'm a big fan of the design.
Yeah, I will probably be changing my dice each arc to match my character.
Sweet.
All right, so Chi Yarru, our waterbender, mother, future business owner, and go-getter who can do it all. We're going to pass next over to Connor. What kind of character do we see here?
I will be playing the role as the successor. I'm going to say his name is Io, and he is from the Jin family. I'm pretty much doing most of it from the flavor text. Do you want me to go ahead and read that?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Io's fathers are both rich and successful members of the Jin family, as are all 7 of his siblings. Io is the unplanned but beloved 8th child, a good decade younger than his siblings, and they're expected to excel just like the rest of them. He's free to pursue his own passions, and his parents are happy to provide startup money, so long as whichever enterprise Io eventually lands on will bring prestige and fortune to the family. Io was sent off to Ba Sing Se to study before returning to Jasmine Island. For now, Io has chosen to become a protector while deciding on his chosen enterprise.
Very nice. And are you sticking with Earthbender then?
I am.
All right. So we've got... I love this... kind of already we can see the way that your parents are probably feeling about you. It's like, man,
Yeah.
we didn't intend for this guy, but we don't want him to feel left out, so let's just give him whatever he wants.
Here you go, little buddy.
All right, this probably is going to tie in with the same question that we had Christian answer about which family you are related to.
Yes.
And what some of the situation is like there. The Jin family, Jin Sheka is the matriarch of the Jin family. So maybe this is like a grandmother.
Yeah.
Within the Jin family, what is one aspect of your relationship that is fraught and one that is wholesome?
For fraught, I am smart enough to know that there are some less than wholesome business dealings and choices of those in charge that have been made. But because they are my family, I refuse to dig any deeper. I think there's a sense of loyalty that will sometimes outweigh my moral compass to my family.
A sort of willful naivete, you might say?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I dig that. And we're already starting to get a little sense of maybe everything is not so pristine on the surface with these ruling families as they might like everybody else to think.
Right.
And then what is one aspect that is wholesome about this relationship?
I think you can see a bit of it in, the pre-constructed backstory I talked about. But I'd like to believe that as, significantly the youngest, I have always been pursuing what is my place in life, what is my place in the family. And they have been supportive both financially and emotionally every step of the way, no matter how often I pursue something new.
So a lot of money and a lot of parental support.
Yeah. I came back from a study abroad, and they're like, "Well, you want to join the Protectors? Go for it, buddy. Have a good time. Don't forget your lunch."
Okay, and then finally, we turn the lens on Sammy's character. Who are you playing?
I think this is hilarious because my pre-gen character is part of the Fu family.
Perfect.
Isn't that crazy?
We did it!
Oh, and I'm gonna kind of mad-lib my background as I read it because it's very similar to what I was hoping it would be, and I haven't read it until now. My name is Natsuki Fu. I spend most of my time in my family's maybe not like a restaurant. I don't know if restaurants are a thing in this feudal island.
I mean, they are the ones, so the Fu family prepare the tea, they get the tea plants and the jasmine plants from the Qi and Jin families, and then they process it to prepare it for drinking.
Yeah.
So they probably would have a tea house at least, but quite probably, maybe a bakery or even some other food selling alongside that.
Yes, which I'm so excited about because that's what I was hoping for. So basically, I'm a firebender and I spend a lot of time brewing tea. And it has to be perfect because I imagine that my family is quite militant about it being perfect since we're processing the most famous tea leaves on this famous tea island. It says that I've been raised my whole life knowing that like my path is destined. I am going to be the master tea maker, right? And I am devoted to that role, except for I think that I hate it and I would want nothing more than to leave this little island. So I'm very like aloof and detached, want to just go hang out with my friends and not do this. And then it says that I've been urged to join the Protectors, probably because I'm not that dedicated to what I'm doing and they would like me to become more dedicated. So they're shoving me in this program.
Yeah, so what we know about Fu Mela, she is the leader of the Fu family. She was born into her council position, which goes to the youngest adult child upon the resignation of the former Fu council member, so barely of age when her mother resigned. She also wishes that the position had gone to her older sister, but she's hiding her insecurities behind a refined facade.
So like mother, like daughter.
Yeah. So maybe the two of you are even kind of conspiring. But even though your grandmother resigned, I think there's a good chance that she is still around and is still kind of cracking the whip a little bit.
Yeah, influencing mom.
So that's kind of, I mean, we've definitely delved into the fraught part of your relationship there. What's an aspect that is more wholesome about your relationship with your family?
I feel like there's definitely a part of me that wants to be that perfect kid that can take over everything and make my family proud and like, I mean, maybe that's not wholesome. Actually, that's kind of traumatic, but it comes from a place of love, you know, like I love my family and maybe I can see like the stress on my mom and I just want to be like, I want to impress her. I want to make things better for her because I can tell her life is also kind of rough being in this spot.
But maybe there's a way that you can make your family proud that doesn't involve tea, just maybe. All right, then the final question that it wants us to answer for all of our characters, it encourages us to have you talk about one of the arrivals that you already know, but since we don't have any arrivals in this crew, we're going to talk about your perceptions of the other families, the other tea families here on the island. So let's wrap back around to Yarru. You are an established member of the community here. You're a mother. You know how to roll with the punches. And you've got these two kids who are sitting here joining the Protectors with you today. What do you think your perception is of the Jin family and the Fu family and their two youthful bucks who have come to try and work alongside you?
Can I throw a wrench into your plans, maybe?
What kind of wrench?
Can I be married to one of Connor's older brothers?
Ooh, one of his 7 older brothers?
Auntie.
All right.
Yes.
Oh wait, no, that's not what yeah, I guess sister.
Sister-in-law.
Forgot how families work for a second.
I'm guessing you might call me auntie because of the age difference.
There's an age gap. There's got to be an age gap.
Like married to the oldest brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're 10 years younger than your next oldest sibling, and you have 7 siblings, I mean, at the very least, there's going to be like a 17-year age gap.
Yeah, bare mints.
So yeah, I'm married to, which, you know, was and partially is a marriage of politics. And, you know, we have grown comfortable with one another. And there is a love there. I think that his whole family is a little bit emotional. Same, what was Sammy's family's? The Fu. The same with them. You know, these firebenders are very hot-headed and sometimes rash. And so I think looking at these, you know, one of them is family and the other one is this young upstart trying to prove herself. I think I feel an instinctive protection of them both. Even though we're technically entering on the same field, I immediately feel more experienced just with age and life.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. So you are certainly going to be the stoic one within our group here, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go to our little Nepo baby, Io.
Hi.
How do you think you feel about the other T families? Like, you mentioned that you kind of know a little bit of the shadier dealings going on in the upper echelons of these families, so maybe that could help inform a bit of it?
Yes. I am also going to lean into my willful naivete a little bit and assume that as these rich, wealthy families who are seen in this like refined business, I'm going to assume we gossip about each other in a way that seems complimentary, but if you read into it a little bit, it totally isn't. But there's a part of me that is completely convinced that like all of the quote unquote nice things they're saying are 100% true. So what I mean by that is like, you know, oh yeah, this family is so frugal. Like, have you seen what they've been wearing? They clearly haven't been spending all this money on clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just be like, yeah, these guys are really smart with their money.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give everyone the benefit of the doubt on accident, I think.
I love that. Benefit of the doubt on accident.
Yeah.
That is a powerful character trait. Holy cow. All right. And then Natsuki, how do you feel about the other families?
I feel like I'm very skeptical of both of them because I don't really know much about them other than they deliver the tea leaves. And I feel like my family has to work a lot harder to not get as far. So I'm feeling like, like, am I going to be, cool enough to impress these guys? Are they going to be really judgmental and harsh? And I'm going to be like on guard a little.
Okay, feeling a little defensive, a little out of your element. Okay, so with the rising of the sun, Xiaruk turns towards you all and tells you to raise your cups to the sun. As you can see, the rays beginning to cascade in through the mist and the spray, these rainbow shafts refracting against the water below and casting it up in caustics onto the ceiling. This beautiful blend, these two different forms of the water altering the light as it shines through. And with your sips, you are now officially sworn in as members of the Protectors of Jasmine Island.
Yummy.
So we've got some connections established between all of you and the island, between each other. Is there any other questions that you guys have for the other players or the current situation before we move on?
I would just like to, part of the character creation in Avatar Legends are connections, and I would like to put the two character into the blank spots with my two connections.
Yes, let's do this. Let's
Cool.
mechanize these bonds that we have between our characters.
Get mech'd.
I'm going to say, so my two connections are Natsuki could use training from someone who knows what they're doing. I suppose I am up for the task. I am not sure if the overtures of friendship from Io make me happy, mad, or both. He's like an annoying little brother, but I family.
All right, that is Yarru's bonds. For Natsuki, do you have any in mind?
These fit so well, actually. So my first one, I think, would go to Io. It says, Io seems to not fully understand what it means that I'm the icon of my tradition, and I kind of I like feeling free around them. And then the other one would be for Yarru. Makes me feel better about my responsibilities and my burden with a smile and a few kind words.
Yeah, being kind of a mother hen sort of figure almost there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Io, what about yours?
Yes, so in Yarru's case, Yarru has major concerns, fears, or grievances with my lineage and with me by proxy.
Mm-hmm.
I think Yarru's a lot more familiar with the maybe dark dealings. There are no rose-colored glasses. I think she probably has some real love for my brother and a chunk of my family, but is definitely maybe a little bit jaded, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And Natsuki seems free of their past in a way I wish I could let go of mine. Hearing them talk about the future feels amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'll do.
Very nice. So we've got our characters fully established now. So we're going to skip ahead a little bit to later in the day, our first interlude. You have all been given the remainder of the day following this tea ceremony to celebrate and to relax. You were offered a fishing boat to take out onto the bay and just enjoy yourselves, taking a quiet moment to relax and hang out with friends. Who do we think came up with the idea to go out onto the water here?
I would be happy to spearhead that. I would it's the proper thing to do. I'm going to set it up with our families. I don't know if my mother will accept the invitation, but I will extend it. And obviously, Io's whole family is invited. And
This is a big boat.
we need a bigger boat.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then Natsuki also obviously invite her and her family as well. And we run in the same circles anyway, so it's not outside of our too usual.
Yeah. And as you are getting ready to sort of take off from the shore, Chida is there, your new boss, quote unquote. And he's like, yeah, you guys enjoy yourselves for this next little celebration bit, but if any of you see Mirlan, that laggardly lout, he was supposed to be there to help with the ceremony. If you see Mirlan, you tell him that he has duties here on the island and that Cheetah would really appreciate it if he showed his face for once.
Sir, yes, sir. If we see Mirta in the middle of the ocean, we'll let him know.
Okay, I got my eyes on you, boy.
All right.
Oh, dear fox almighty, and just like shoves your ship and you almost tip out of it a little bit. But yeah, the festivities begin. I imagine like at one point you're kind of sailing along the barge, like the sort of pleasure barge that the enormous Jin family is all gathered on. And like Yarru, some of your actual nieces and nephews are like jumping off, splashing water up into your little smaller fishing boat here. And as the festivities go on for a little bit, you're kind of looking out into the distance. And who do we feel like is maybe the most on edge and maybe kind of having the hardest time relaxing during this situation?
I feel like that makes a lot of sense for me, especially if my family's here and they're all like stiff and uptight and like wearing really fancy clothes, and we don't want to get wet because we're firebenders, and I feel like we just naturally don't like it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, oh, why can't I remember the name of the two families when they're guiding them through the canyon?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's the one family that's just like, oh yeah, we brought our food and we're just gnawing into big shanks of meat, and then the other pulls out their chopsticks and they're being all proper about it.
Yeah, as the nieces and nephews are splashing, I am having a moment of, relaxation, so I'm just sort of like juggling the water as it comes out and splashing them back, and I'm not very much on edge, so I'm a little bit more cutting loose right now.
I think I'm just a little bummed because I was hoping to actually catch some fish, and with all the nephews and whatnot splashing around, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, gonna scare away all of the lovely, yummy, tasty sashimi you could be eating later.
Yeah, I'm brooding a little.
But yeah, Natsuki, as you are kind of like looking around, being like, okay, how's my family acting? How's everybody else perceiving my family right now? You're kind of like looking off into the distance. Go ahead and assess a situation for me.
Ooh, okay.
Our first roll of the game.
Yeah, let me get I also have my avatar dice, the firebender
Nice.
ones. So yes.
Beautiful. Hey, Connor, how are your avatar dice?
I haven't got them yet, but I will.
Oh, I roll with creativity. Hold up. I have 0 creativity. I got a 7.
All right, so that is still a partial success for us. So on our assess a situation, you're going to get to ask one question from the following list. What here can I use to blank? Who or what is the biggest threat? What should I be on the lookout for? What's my best way out, in, or through? Who or what is in the greatest danger?
Yes, I would like to ask, what here can I use to, like, not disarm my parents, but, like, calm my parents, distract them, maybe?
Yeah, you know for sure that your mother being in, like, a similar boat to you, not literally physically the exact same boat to you, but in emotionally a similar boat to you, like, she could probably also use a bit of a break. And it's your darn grandma sitting just, like, straight-backed in her little, like, shaded pavilion area of your family's barge. If you could just find a way to get your grandma off on, like, a different kind of situation, maybe you could actually enjoy this time with your mom.
Okay, do I see Io fishing or trying to fish?
Attempting to fish, cursing all of the nieces and nephews that are preventing him from fishing.
I'm saying some words I learned in Bossing Say under my breath.
I really want to take, like, his dangling line and actually attach it to my grandma's dress.
You hooligan.
All right, I think we're going to have you trick an NPC.
Oh, okay. I roll with the creativity I don't have again.
Yep, great, wonderful.
Oh, that's not good, fellas. That's a 5.
A 5.
Good roll.
Yeah, so I think in a moment when Io is distracted by the nieces and nephews trying to get them to calm down, you like grab the hook and you are trying to move carefully, trying to move quietly, but one of the nieces jumps too close to your barge and splashes water up onto you and to your grandmother, who sputters and coughs and looks directly at you.
Natsuki, can't you do something to control these hooligans?
They're not my responsibility, Grandma.
Well, it takes a village to raise a child, wouldn't you say? And I've done enough villaging. I have raised so many children, including that ungrateful mother of yours. Why don't you take a little bit of responsibility?
Oh, I'll take some responsibility. I'm gonna grab like a cup of liquid and throw it in her face.
Okay, yeah.
Whoa, these hot-headed firebenders.
Exactly. So you splash her right in the face, and like her makeup was already starting to drip a little bit from the splash from the child jumping into the water, but now she looks at you first with shock, and then you see all of the liquid beginning to evaporate off of her face as her temperature, like a thermometer, red begins to rise up her neckline, up her face, and she is about to give you a stern talking to, but then she pauses as if she's distracted by something behind you, and she points over your shoulder and says,
I do not recognize this ship. Which family owns this ship?
I turn around. What do I see?
you see a Fire Nation warship.
Snap.
It is a large, iron-plated vessel, impressive sails, heading straight for the island. And as you look in closer, you can also see a much smaller Fire Nation vessel emerging from behind the warship, overtaking it with its speed, but being rocked and knocked off to the side as it tries to block the warship's path. And you see a burst of flame shooting up from the smaller vessel up towards the deck of the larger one.
Are we expecting guests, fellow protectors, and family?
This man we were told to keep an eye out for. What was his name again?
Mirlon.
Mirlon. Is he a firebender?
Let me check just to make sure. I don't believe so.
Okay, so he wouldn't be the one trying to stop them. Okay.
I'll say now that Io and Yarru have been made aware of this as well, let's have one of you also roll to assess a situation. This is with creativity again. So what kind of creativity we got in this group?
I got 0 over here.
I have -1.
Wow. We are really creative, hey gang?
Okay.
It sounds like I'm the next best choice.
I'm good at focusing. I'm very focused.
Yeah, this will maybe be a good moment to bring up the help move as well. When you take appropriate action to help a companion, you can mark 1 fatigue to give them a +1 to their roll after the roll has taken place. So we might be able, if Io isn't able to break into the partial success at least territory, we have some options here. But Io, go ahead, 2d6 plus creativity.
Plus Why did I think I had 0? I wrote 0. I've got +3 in creativity.
There
Okay.
we go. That's
Hang
what we
on.
like to see.
Okay, that's much better.
I got 10, baby!
Perfect. Okay, full success on Assess the Situation. You get to ask 2 of the questions from the list. What here can I use to blank? Who or what is the biggest threat? What should I be on the lookout for? What's the best way in, out, or through? Who or what is in the greatest danger?
Let's start with who or what is in the greatest danger.
Yeah, you sort of peer forward, and perhaps like one of your enterprises that you entered in on, one of your harebrained schemes that your parents were, supporting you with, was getting into the optics business. So you've got like a spyglass that you pull out and peer off in the distance, and you start to get a sense of who the people are on these ships. You first look at the large ship, and you see there is nobody on that Fire Nation warship wearing like a Fire Nation military uniform. You see a lot of people wearing ragged sailcloth, wearing patchy furs. You see a lot of people who look a lot like pirates for sure on this warship here. And I'll give you, even because you got a full success, you see that standing like at the back of this group, looking very nervous, is Mirlan, the person who was supposed to be there at the ceremony. And then looking down into the smaller ship, you see an older woman. She is definitely wearing Fire Nation military garb, and she is hurling the largest gouts of flame you've seen any one single firebender produce up at these pirates. And I'm trying to figure out what we would have you roll to see if you might have a chance of knowing who this is. You know what? I'll say, based off of who your characters are, what their backgrounds are, what their expertises and whatnot would be, I'm going to say you peer out, you start describing to the people around you what is happening. Oh my gosh, Mirlan's out there. What's he doing? He's surrounded by pirates. Who's this firebender woman in uniform? And Natsuki's grandma walks up and snatches the spyglass out of your hands.
You uneducated whelp, let me see what's going on here.
She looks through and she gasps,
Why, that is Heron, the former companion of Avatar Karuk.
Oh.
What?
The mother of Avatar Kiyoshi's girlfriend.
For real?
For real? Why are you having me repeat terrible slang with my own distinguished mouth? That is Heron. I tell you, what is she doing? Oh, this is terribly dangerous.
and I think to answer the actual question of who or what is in the greatest danger, I mean, yeah, you've got two people fighting out there, but if there is a pirate ship moving towards Jasmine Island, the island itself is probably in the greatest danger. And all of these kids who are like jumping into the water.
Oh.
All right, I'm going to stand up on the boat, plant my feet, and just lift my arms and take every niece, nephew, and otherwise that's in the water and plop them down into a boat, and then pull my fellow protectors into the boat that I'm in and start water bending the boats towards the island and ours towards this ship. All right, we'll see you at home. Don't wait up.
Bye, guys.
All right. And Io, you get one more question off of our assess a situation list.
Yes. I believe we've already started it, but what's my best way through? And I guess what I mean by that, what is the best way I can distract, or my inner alarms are going off. So I think we need to do something about this. What is the best way to go about stopping this thing?
Yeah, I mean, you are a protector of Jasmine Island. You have made a sacred oath to do what you can to make sure that the people of the island are safe and secure. Everybody who is not a protector, you got to get them back to the shore and start preparing some defenses, possibly. You know, who knows what these pirates have in mind, but you also know that you are pretty darn convincing with a turn of phrase. I mean, all of those bars you went to in Boston say you made a lot of friends over there who are not trying to take advantage of you in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, that's what they said.
So your best way through this situation might be to start with parley, perhaps?
Okay, does anyone have any fabric on them? Like a sail or something? I'd like to wave a flag.
So yeah, you send all of the civilians back to the island. You can see Chida on the shore. He didn't get into one of the boats, but he is now noticing this commotion, and he is just like raging and fuming, like bouncing up and down, shaking his fists, shouting in direction. You can't hear what he's saying, but obviously irritated. And like as soon as the first ship gets back, he like leaps into the water and goes swimming towards them, and instantly starts pointing at people and pointing back to the shore, like organizing some sort of defense situation here. So that is sort of in process at the moment. And as all ships but one begin moving back towards the docks here in the cove, and you, this soul vessel, begin moving out towards this active conflict happening between one of the former Avatar's very companions and a ship full of pirates, I think that's where we're going to pick up next time.
Oh, man.
Yep, starting with a bang. Like, that is when I started reading through this adventure, I was like, oh, we start the campaign with a pirate invasion.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't get much better than that.
That's crazy.
Wow.
I was thinking, okay, day one, we get ourselves into the Protector Order, learn some rules, go for a swim. Nope.
Yeah.
There's other stuff happening.
I thought it was going to be so lighthearted.
Oh, man. Troubling times here on Jasmine Island. I'm very excited to see how our players end up putting together the Legos of the situation. But for now, thanks everybody for listening to Improv Tabletop. We'll be back next time with more adventures here in the world of Jasmine Island. If you want more, go ahead and subscribe, maybe even give us a review. We would be as happy as a blissfully unaware of pirate's child jumping into the bay and splashing water all over if you would go ahead and give us a review on the podcatcher of your choice. We also have a bunch of social media accounts that may or may not be active, but if you want to connect with us, you can try sending us an email at improvtabletop@gmail.com. I'm always monitoring that email address there and sending messages along where appropriate to my lovely players and friends here. But now it's time to shout out our next batch of Sticker Club patrons. And the people we're shouting out this week are Tetraslash, the Packard Boys, and Tim Rust.
Yeah.
Yeah, which incidentally, I finally got a chance to actually meet Tim in person when I was visiting Christian McKenna out in Nashville, and just what a delightful guy. What a wonderful person.
We gotta give Ned the Waffle House experience.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Wonderful.
From what I understand, it was the genuine Waffle House experience. There was definitely some herbal smells in the air when we walked out of that place. But yeah, these three, I'm going to say, they're the other three protectors who are currently getting into their battle stations, making sure that everything is going to be prepared for who knows what's going to happen with these pirates, getting people organized to build blockades, to batten down the hatches, make sure everything is shipshape, and all of those other naval phrases that I know what they mean. We're going to have more Sticker Club patrons to shout out next week, and if you, dear listener, want to join their ranks, consider joining our Patreon at patreon.com/improvtabletop, where you can also get things like Discord access, biannual sticker packs, and more, such as our current ongoing patron-exclusive campaign, Serpent Sea Sagas.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, none of the people who are currently recording this episode are in Serpent Sea Sagas at the moment, which is maybe the first time this has happened.
Nice.
But you have all been in Serpent Sea Sagas at various points in the past. It's a grand old time, having lots of fun with it.
That it is.
I'm excited to get back to it.
And like I mentioned as well, you can also get our patron-exclusive Sonic the Hedgehog Choose Your Own Adventure story.
Oh, boy.
Can't say enough about Sonic.
Powerful stuff.
For all of you folks, when we finished the 6th book and you were like, well, I guess you guys just need to write the next one, well, it's happening. So head over to our Patreon and see what's happening over there.
We took that to heart.
Now let's do a round of plugs, and I'll do that this time around. As always, we've got our sister podcast, I Cast Fireball, a D&D 5e actual play, which has just finished our campaign of Skulls and Shackles,
Nice.
our own piratical adventure. But apparently, I just can't get enough of pirates, because now here we are.
They're back.
I Cast Fireball is going to be taking a little break over the summer, but we've got ideas to do all sorts of fun little stuff in the interim. I might run a little one-shot using Dungeon World or Fate or something over there.
Nice.
We'll have to see what happens as we prepare for Campaign 3. We've also got our affiliation with fanrolldice.com. They don't sell the official Avatar Legends dice, unfortunately, but they do sell a lot of other dice. And if you use coupon code VROOMVROOMFIFI during checkout, you can get 10% off. Some cool stuff over there. And the other thing that I would like to plug right now is a YouTube channel called Ska Tune Network. It is a project of a ska artist named Jer. They put together all of these wonderful ska covers of songs from all over the place, from pop culture, whether it is the theme song of one of your favorite cartoons when you were a kid, a pop punk song that you really enjoyed, or any kind of other song. Jer is just doing everything over there. Actually, my favorite thing, earlier this year for April Fools, they did a side project that they called Polkalodian. They took ska songs and turned them polka. and it was wonderful.
Wow.
Amazing.
The perfect fusion.
I have not heard a song on that channel yet that is not a certified banger. Go check out Ska Tune Network on YouTube. And that's going to do it for the plugs this time around. Thanks everybody for joining us here in this wonderful new campaign. We're back into Avatar Legends, ooh baby, the world of Jasmine Island.
Feels good.
I'm Ned Wilcock, your host and GM, and today I've been joined by...
Christian Randall as Yarru.
Connor Wood, #1 fan of the Opscometrist.
Sammy Ryan, if you're not using your free time to make Nickelodeon theme songs into ska, are you doing it right?
Absolutely not. Much love and stuff, everybody. We'll catch you next time on Improv Tabletop.
Connor, you are playing Io.
Ayo, yes.
And Sammy, you are playing...
I'm gonna give you a chance. Natsuki.
Natsuki.
Natsuki with an I.
Natsuki, okay.
Not to be confused with Suki. This is Natsuki.
This is Natsuki.
Yes, this is Natsuki.
Okay, Natsuki and Io. Okay,
And Christian, you are playing.
Yarru.
Ah.
Luckily, I just kept the name, so you can just look at the sheet.
Cool.